What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, 20 Game Sports. Let's get into this topic, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. It is Thursday, December the 8th, 2022. We're almost in 2023. It's crazy times. As y'all see, I got my holiday gear on, my Christmas stuff, man. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all that good stuff. Neither here nor there, man. I know, man, I got some messages on Instagram and, Facebook and things of that nature asking why I haven't given my 2 cents on the Coach Prime situation, him going over to Colorado. And honestly, man, I was just I had made my peace with it, man. I had said enough on enough streams of my guy Hoop Jordan's stream, on one of my streams that I did, actually the SWAC championship game. So I just kind of made my peace. So I didn't really want to, talk about it. And I appreciate everybody that's in here early. What's going on? Eric Smith's in the building. Felix Speaks says poaching has a negative connotation. Why be it never asked? Man, I get it. And I put that in the description because that's going to be a word that's probably thrown around. And, they call it flipping, stealing, whatever. I decided to use the word poaching. Might be a little... might throw people off a little bit. I'll give my 2 cents on, on that word and how I feel about the situation in a little bit. As my guy, Hope Jordan says, Felix Speaks is asking a question, not making a statement. Yep, there you go. Just asking the question. APT's in the building. What's going on? Yeah, y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. Correctional officers in the building. But y'all, man, it's almost a week. Got about 2 more days since the news has broke that Coach Prime has left to go to Colorado. A lot of folks were speculating. I didn't see the Colorado move happening. Maybe another Power 5 school, but that's neither here nor there. He decided to go to Colorado. I'm still going to support him because any man who decides to make a move, to better himself, to get a raise, get an opportunity. As I've said on my Facebook post, man. This is an opportunity that was kind of hard to pass up for Coach Prime. He feels like he's one of the best coaches, so he wanted to prove himself in the Power 5 levels. Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. And again, this is why I didn't really, jump in on this topic. I've seen many channels cover this all week, Sunday until now. So I just wanted to leave it alone. G Parker's in the better suit on time. What's up? H-Town's in the building. But, as it's been 4 days, basically, and Coach Prime has been making splashes as he's hired his offensive coordinator already, and he's hired his defensive coordinator already, man. So I think this staff is going to be really good as he continues to put things together. And, as y'all can see in the thumbnail of this video, Coach Vincent Dancy, I believe is his name. Coach Vincent Dancy has decided to go out west, out there in Colorado, and join Coach Prime coaching the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, I don't know what his position will be. Maybe a position coach, maybe like a DB coach or something like that. If I remember correctly, Coach Dancy was a player for Jackson State. I want to say he might have been a defensive back in his time playing for Jackson State. And there was speculation that Jackson State was going to take a look at him as the Knicks head coach, man. And, Coach Prime has gave his recommendation of T.C. Taylor being the next coach over at Jackson State. Shout out to Chuck Hunt. Chuck Hunt is in the building, checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Yeah, y'all always let me know where you're from. As Cheryl is in the building in Atlanta, and yes, Vincent Davis. Yeah. And not poaching. Coaching opportunities are offered to good coaches every season. This is an opportunity that has evolved through a friendship, ground people you trust and absolutely. And not, again, poaching is a word that's probably going to be thrown around to some folks in the sports media world. And I just kind of want to get in front of these things. I always try to get in front of topics and things like that and get my perspective. And then if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Poaching is a different type of word. And yes, as folks who follow me on Facebook who know my real name, I've asked the question to folks after the Deion Sanders news broke. I said, I said, which one is it? You want coaches to have opportunities at the Power 5 level or not have opportunities? And when a coach gets the opportunity to go to the Power 5 level as a black coach, a black head coach, because a lot of folks in the world, right, that's not into sports or, really thriving in sports or understand sports like that, their main question is about not having representation. Why don't we have representation at the highest level? So I asked that question on my Facebook page, and I got some pushback on it because, oh man, well, he could have did this in the HBCU level. But then I asked the question again. So y'all complain about black coaches not having the opportunities to coach in the Power 5 level, where almost 70% of the players are black kids, because there are still black kids who are going to these Power 5 schools. And we get mad, and I say we as black people, there are black people out there who are mad that Coach Prime took the opportunity to go coach at a Power 5 school. So I asked folks, which one is it? Which one do you want? You want the representation, or you don't want the representation? That is all I'm asking, man. That's all I've been asking. And folks cannot give me a clear answer on that. Shout out to Chester. He says former coach on this. Yeah, Coach Desi. He's decided to go over with Coach Prime, and I'm not mad at him. Mississippi Valley is a struggling program. He has not had a winning season in his tenure there. Struggled to win a game this year. They beat Alcorn, I believe, and then they beat Prairie View, right? So they won two games in conference this season. Very, very rough season to deal with. And in his time over at Mississippi Valley, he was 10-38. That is very, very hard to do. It's hard to get in and get out every single day, knowing that more than likely your team is going to lose. It plays on your mental, it plays on your physical, it plays on your health, man. Like you're trying to gear up and get yourself amped up every single week, every single weekend, knowing that more than likely you might not win. And for folks who've been following this channel for a while, if my guy Hoop Jordan's in here, y'all know I've shared this story many times about when I was in high school. We played against a team who was 0-29 going into their 30th game of the season, which was against us. They were 0-29. How can you get up every single week knowing that every time you step on the court, you were going to lose, man? This team went 0-30, which I think is still a record, man. How do you go 0-30, man? 0-30, and Sonic Boom says, Poacher, for sure, they would like to have to stay attached to Coach Prime and get this opportunity. They're not going to elevate other black HBCU coaches because of Prime. And this might be, as folks said that Coach Prime used Jackson State, and I've said Jackson State used him as well. It was a two-way street. And at the end of the day, he decided to leave. Okay, yes, it was kind of cruel. It was kind of shrewd. It was kind of, heartbreaking, especially to the young men. And then all the people that believed in what Coach Prime was going to do at the HBCU level. But maybe he sat back and said, you know what, this might be an opportunity for me to get some of these HBCU coaches to get seen out of the shadows of being in the SWAC, out of the shadows of being in the MEAC, because we know that a lot of folks don't pay attention to that style of football, to that conference, or to those conferences. We know this, man, and I've been trying to tell folks on Facebook a lot. A lot of folks are arguing, saying, oh, he should have did this and that, HBCU and stuff like that. Have never seen one HBCU game. Have not seen one SWAC game in the 3 years that he was there and prior to that. So all the folks that were complaining on Facebook, I'm just like, y'all got to get serious, bro. You got to get serious. You got this fake outrage that was happening. Now, for me with Coach Desi, I have no issue with him leaving. There are going to be he might get a little pushback. As Sonic Boom says, I'm happy for him, but I don't think Prime is going to open the doors for people. Man, maybe. Ezra Kelly's in the middle. What up, Ezra? Coach Prime stated that his reason for not planning to play any HBCU school made sense. He stated such would be an unfair matchup due to the number of available players. And that as y'all seen, that transfer portal is loaded with talent. Texas A&M has like 12 kids in the transfer portal. Clemson has about 9. Alabama has about 9 or 10, somewhere in there. And you bet your bottom dollar they're looking to head out west. They're looking to see what Coach Prime is offering. Right, and the transfer portal is not good for every single person. It's definitely not good for high school athletes, man. It really, really hurts them. If you're not a highly recruited kid, you can't be the kid talking about, well, I'm going to wait and see what I can get. You better take that. It's almost to the point where you got to take that first offer, especially in the basketball world. You got to take that first offer. And as that question just kind of threw me off, and it might come back to me, Chuck Hunt says you're right. We're talking about not having enough black coaches on that level, but criticize each other for wanting to go to those places. Yes, man. Yes. I mean, I know people, right? I know people back in Houston. It's been the big thing on my Facebook page about how folks in Houston, right? Houston has crazy zoning regulations in high school, right? I know a lot of folks who live in the hood. A lot of folks who live in the hood, right? And in my high school was in the hood. When we were growing up, we all went to that school, man. All the athletes went to that school. But now times have changed, and shout out to the parents. There are some parents who got their kids out of the hood, man. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with the hood, but living in the hood, you decide to live in the hood. But sometimes you just want to get out, man. You get tired of hearing sirens. You get tired of getting your house broken into. You get tired of your car getting broken into, which happened to Deion Sanders at Jackson State multiple times. I'm not saying that's the reason why he left. Might be part of it. But I'm going back to say this. I know some folks who live in the hood, but they send their kids, for folks who are familiar with Houston, they send their kids to Summer Creek. They send their kids to Atascocita. They send their kids to North Shore. These high-ranking schools, these big schools where a lot of coaches are going down and recruiting those kids out of that school. But the kids, some of those kids don't even live in the zoning area. But you have folks on my timeline, hot as fish grease, mad at Coach Prime for leaving to go to a HBCU school, but you don't even send your kids to the school that's right by your house. It's right in the hood. So it's been funny, man. It's been very, very funny about the outlook of what's happening with this situation, man. But I'm all for Coach Dancy leaving because, again, what I'm saying? Because he had a 10-38 record, as I stated, and he has a chance to get an opportunity. I think he's a pretty good coach. I think he's a pretty good coach, man, dealing with what he's dealing with down there in Mississippi Valley. I hope y'all have seen some of the reports that's out there saying that how some of these HBCUs are way underfunded, right? Way underfunded. And not just speaking in the sports world and the recruiting budget. The recruiting budget for most HBCUs are not even up to par to some of what these high school coaches make in Texas, man. We got some high school coaches in Texas that are making 1.5, 2 million a year. Think about that. We got high school football coaches in Texas that are making $2 million a year. And you're expecting a collegiate coach to work off of pennies? So I'm not mad at Coach Dancy getting this opportunity to go over to Colorado, get a little taste of that over there, man. Who knows? Somebody might like what he does with whatever his job title is, whether he's the DB's coach or the linebacker coach or anything like that. Somebody might like what he does over there, and he might get an opportunity to coach at a school that's a little more funded, right? The sports world, the sports collegiate world is a wild business, man. Wild business. And Antron Bailey, what's up, Antron? Appreciate you coming through. Reggie Barlow was hired by XFL as a head football coach. That's what's up. I do feel for the young man on the football team. Yes, man, and that was my biggest gripe with it, man. Young men who might have came to Jackson State or enjoyed the ride that they had with Jackson State, enjoyed the relationship that they might have built with Deion Sanders. It's tough. It's tough, man. Um, it, but as kids, sometimes you just gotta be a little more resilient, man. Gotta be a little more resilient, and oftentimes they don't understand that college sports is a business, and this might have been an eye-opening moment for them. So hopefully they can kind of learn from this and push forward. And CV says crabs in a barrel. Yeah, we all know that. At Sonic Boom, a lot of people are happy he left and never been a JSU or a SWAC game either. Yeah. There was one report that promised our yes, he is the I forgot his name. His name is Charles Kelly. Charles Kelly would be the new defensive coordinator over at Colorado with Coach Prime. Double T, what's the word? What's the word, my guy? Swag JSU will show what they can be. Pick up what Deion left off and keep progressing. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. You don't have the cachet or the person that's the lightning rod that is Deion Sanders. It's going to be tough, but he's kind of laid down the blueprint, man. Continue just you never know till you try. So whatever the next coach may be, man, you never know if a kid is considering an HBCU. He might be a 4-star, 5-star kid. You never know. So you go in there and you make your pitch, and you will allow who you are, and you try to sell it, man. You try to sell them the experience, right? Of being an HBCU football player. So we never know. We're just going to have to wait and see. I was in attendance at the 2021 Orange Blossom Classic, which I had the opportunity to see Deion Sanders coach in person, Florida, and then make their appearance as a swag man. What's up? That's what's up, Chunk, man. And that's one regret that I have, man, because I said it. I was going to go to a game, to a Jackson State home game during the Coach Prime era. And now, that's out the door, but I'm still going to make a Jackson State game. The 100 administrators altogether can do as much as one man. Yeah, it takes. That's what I've been saying, Double T. That's what I've been saying. We can't rely on one man to carry the torch of a whole entire conference, man. An entire conference, like, dude, what work are others putting in? You got to go put in the work. You can't sit back and look at man like, man, that dude was being successful. That man, like, looking at another man, that man got a lot of money. I wonder what he did to get all that money. He probably worked his butt off, man. So don't sit back and say, like, hey, man, I should get some of that money too. Even though he's worked his butt off, I should get some of that too. That's not how this world works. That's definitely not how this country works. Not this country. Sonic Boom says, I stand by opinion that prom going to Colorado is not the same as black coaches finally getting opportunity. He's not a regular black coach. He's not. He's not. I can't argue with that. He's not. He's not a traditional guy. He's not a traditional coach. Right? Most guys like Deion Sanders who have no coaching experience, they get their first head coaching job. They've probably been an assistant, 5, 6, 7 years, behind somebody. Most guys do not get an opportunity to be a head coach of a collegiate program without having any experience, man. Y'all know, same way in the working world. Nobody becomes the CEO of a company without working their way up through the ranks, man. And so it's not regular, but he just might provide some opportunities for some other black coaches, even though his staff will not be completely black. A lot of people who put in all their money into Texas high school would never put money. Yeah, man, it's Sonic Boom. Look, I know people that are HBCU graduates on my timeline on Facebook who have never sent one stinking penny to their alum, to their school that they're an alum of. Hit that like button, yeah. And today's donation goal, if y'all like what we do over here, man, today's donation goal is 5, man. Five. So if y'all would like to hit the Cash App, which is Between the Game Sports, $ Between the Game Sports, you can. If you would like to hit the Cash App, you can. Today's donation goal is 5. So I appreciate it if y'all do hit it. Where was I? The Real Gaming Nation, I heard Jackson State was misappropriating funds for the football team. Yeah, that is a rumor that's going on. I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know, the details behind that. SWAC needs to work with the other FCS programs that are similar that have success. You should see how Incarnate Word has success in placing their top coaches. Yeah, man. There's a formula out there. Diamond's in the building. Do you know what coaches are staying at Jackson State? I do not. I do not. They're again. Coach Dancy was a person that they had some interest in, pursuing to be a Jackson State head coach. But from what I know, there's going to be a full extensive search for the next head coach at Jackson State. I've seen folks hollering about Cam Newton and stuff like that. Maybe Cam Newton might have the cachet to kind of compete and bring in that energy that Coach Prime had. Exactly, he has a business. Darren Jennings in the business. He went and got his brother. And that's man. That's what you're supposed to do. And this is wild, right? This is wild. As Darren Jennings says, there is a underlining crazy thing that we have in the Black community that other communities don't really deal with, right? We get mad at other cultures and communities putting their family on, right? And we don't really see that in the Black community. Yes, it happens, right? But it's not spoke about a lot, but it's not really seen a lot. But, other cultures, what they do all the time? If they get a business, they hire their family. And they keep the money in-house. So if Coach Prime considers Coach Dancy as one of his close friends, one of his brothers, why not hire him? And we again, y'all see the local gas stations and stuff like that. See the hair stores in the hood. Chinese folks own it, and who are they hiring? They're hiring their nieces, their nephews, their cousins, whoever the case may be. So I get it's silly talk when folks like, man, you only in a certain position because somebody put you on. Well, damn it, so what? So what? Can't be duplicated. Now, it's gonna be hard to duplicate what Coach Prime did, man. It'll be hard. You can't compare JSU to North Dakota State and Incarnate Word. Look how long the program was established. North Dakota State before that had a coach change. Hey man, Incarnate Word hasn't been a Division I program very long. They figured it out real quick. Sometimes people, before they speak, they need to sit back and watch it unfold, because all my time I'm knowing Coach Prime, he always had a trick in his bag and he would let you hang yourself. Man, look, think about this. And me and my guy Hoop Jordan was talking about this. Man, we talked about an hour and a half today on the phone. And one of our talking points was, you gotta kind of pay attention to who Coach Prime is. But like, this dude literally talks in third person. You gotta watch people who speaks in third person, man. Coach Prime has been the same person he's been since 1989 when he curated prime time on the field or in his locker room, in his dorm room or something like that. So, he's a smooth salesman, and a lot of folks bought the dream, but they bought the dream as if Coach Prime was going to stay there until the day that he died. And that's what it's crazy to me. That's what's crazy to me. Sunday Boom says, one man can't carry the chips. I've been calling for the whole SWAC to take more advantage of it. That being said, it's hard to compare regular administrators to Prime. But yes, it is. That's my StreamYard is locking up for some reason. Y'all get these bots out of here, man. I forgot where I was on this. Good Lord, man. I forgot what comment I was looking at. My bad. Just going to Jay Blue's in the building. There is a national search, but it doesn't need to take long to hire the next coach. Yes, it does, because the transfer portal is open, right? Willie Simmons only lost to Prime. It's 2 years and a best team. Prime lost to, so why is he getting the same opportunity? I heard some rumors that some folks wanted Willie Simmons. I heard some rumors. American APT says I think Don Trevor should be interviewed at JSU head coaching spot. Sonic Boom wants the problem, and then a bunch of problems in the SWAC still in the same place. The only thing that different in SWAC was Deion Sanders. And you know what's weird, man? I don't know y'all watched on Monday. A lot of y'all didn't come in here, which is cool. But I interviewed. I want to say his name is. If he's in here, correct me. But it's Farasi Norman. I interviewed Farasi Norman. He wants to be a HBCU head coach. He kind of gave me the heads up about the Mississippi Valley thing, which is one of the schools that he wants to go to interview at. He's spoken to a couple of SWAC ADs and things of that nature. I think some schools should give him a shot. I interviewed him on Monday, man. We had a very, very good interview. It was like me being in the position of if I was wanting to hire him. And then all the questions that I asked him, I enjoyed almost every single answer that he gave me. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all continue to hit that like button. Again, today's donation goal is $5. If you feel in your heart you want to donate, please do so. As if you're in the giving spirit, it's Christmas time, you can. And Latrice, Harvard Bear, how are you? Do you know if Dennis Thurman went to college? No, I don't think Dennis Thurman is going. He's an older gentleman, might not want to deal with that. But no, he's not going, as far as I know. HBCU has become very territorial toward people who never attended the institutions that are supportive. But the white institutions did not quit. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I hear you and agree with the level of exposure ball comes with a caveat. Archie Davis says some schools will get built quick with the NIL and transfer portal. Salute to Deion Sanders. He will get Colorado. Yeah, man. He's going to get a lot of folks coming over there, man. I'll keep a lot of folks. Appreciate you, Archie. I'll get a lot of folks coming over there. No, they didn't. Cornwall losing their second coach in 2 years. Current coach leaving first season. SWAC is not any different. Stop the pity party. And Chuck Hunt says, I remember Deion Sanders when he played at Florida State in the mid-late 1980s. He was wild. He continues with his personality today. Yeah, man, he is who he is. You are who you are. Y'all remember that old saying about Coach Dennis Green for the Bears or the Vikings? He's like, we are who they thought they were. We are. Or something like that. The guy from the Mexico, great interview. Southbound, yeah. Coach Norman, great interview. I appreciate you, Southbound, coming through. We have like 4 openings in the SWAC now. Yeah, so somebody's got to get hired. We never thought Prom was going to stay until the day he died. That's absolutely crazy. We did think that thought as well as he hoped that he would stay at least until Shador Rush. Yeah, I thought so too. I really did. I said 5 to 7 years, and I was completely wrong. It is completely wrong. Coach Brown went on 6 minutes, said he went in and said, yes, he did. And there's Mr. Coach Norman right there. Just talking about you. That one school, that's an exception to the rule. Normally it takes a few years as I'm behind. We have to be okay with knowing we want to have coaches stay more than. And that's just how it is kind of in the coaching world now, man. Coaches do not stay put very, very long. Do not. Nick Saban's been at Alabama since 2007, but he bounced around before that. Jim Harbaugh was the coach for the 49ers for a spell. Now he's the head coach over at Michigan. Ohio State used to have Jim Tressel for a long time. Then they had somebody else. Then they had Urban Meyer. Now they have Coach Day. So it moves and moves around, man. It's a coaching carousel. What did he say for 2 years before the interview? Roy May says, I'm glad I live in Dallas. That TCU versus Colorado game will be crazy. 7 years was never happening. I said 5 to 7. Sonic Boom. That's why Jason and other SWAT coaches should see how they doing it, but you like others can't compare. Dennis Gray was coaching the Cardinals after they lost to the Bears. Yeah, man, that's one of my favorite sayings. So, but no, man, this stream is about Coach Dancy getting his opportunity, man, to get out of a situation. Like, we got to be honest, man. Mississippi Valley isn't the best place to be right now. He struggled to get wins. He struggled to get recruits. He struggled to get support. The field was bad. His all-conference running back entered the transfer portal. So if if even though he signed a 2-year extension last year, I believe. I think he signed a 2-year extension. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Even though he signed that, you got all this working against you, and your best player hits the transfer portal. If Coach Dancy wasn't going to leave at this time, then what time was it? What time would we have to leave, man? I'm just saying, this is a great opportunity for him. A great opportunity. Even though he's heading to a team who went 1-10 this year, I think they're going to change around pretty quick. And I think they'll probably win, I'm going to say 5 to 7 games. And I might change that as we get closer to the college football season next year. 5 to 7 games. 5 to 7 games. Y'all hit that like button. Yes, let's go. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I appreciate y'all coming through as always. Again, if you want a super chat, hit the super chat, super thanks, super sticker. You are more than welcome. There's a lot of movement with coaches in this time. Yeah, man. It changes. We know coaches don't stay longer than 4 or 5 years, but no one expects a coach to be there physically a year and a half. 3 years, right? 2020. Right, don't cut them short. Don't cut them short. So if you want to cut them short, do 2 years. I never thought 7 years. Have been very impactful. Shador graduated from JSU, drafted to the NFL. From there, that's what Deion was promoting. HBCU being drafted. Yeah. I think Aubrey Miller would get drafted. I think he would get drafted. The tight end from Bethune-Cookman, I think, entered the draft. It's either Bethune-Cookman or Florida A&M. I think not everybody can get drafted. All right, football has a lot of rounds. The only round that's guaranteed to get signed is the first round, I believe. But I think some guys will get drafted this year. If he was not so successful, he would still be at JSU. What would they say then? Yeah. When you're successful, other people are going to approach you about an opportunity in coaching. When you're successful, this is how the coaching world works. This is how the coaching world works. So what are we saying? Jay Blue says, I think Aubrey and Gaddy will get drafted. Gaddy might need to stay. I think he might have another year. Aubrey Miller for sure. I think he's getting drafted. I think he gets drafted higher than James Houston, actually. It's not about better ideas, even though good ideas, what does it matter if people constantly jump the ship before the ideas are implemented? It's tough, man. It's tough. But, again, if I'm going to hold Coach Prime to a standard, I got to look at myself because I've made some decisions in my lifetime who might have pissed a lot of people off. Even though for the most part, my character is good in any gym that I walk into Texas. Any place that I walk into Texas, my character stands alone. I made some decisions that doesn't please everyone. And at the end of the day, y'all, for folks, men in here, y'all understand, man. Y'all understand, men don't normally make decisions off emotion. Right? We are very usually logical. We think things out. And I think Coach Prime at the end of the day probably thought about this as like, no matter what decision that he made, somebody was going to be unhappy with him. And shout out to Diamond with the $9.99 donate. Man, I ain't even turning my sound effects. My bad. Appreciate you, Diamond. Again, if y'all make a Cash App or a super chat, super thanks donation, you get priority. Seashells Prosperity says between the goal posts. I don't know what you mean by that. Kevin Price is in the building. Salute my brother. Val is the toughest job Division I. All the issues that have. Dancy is a good young coach that would do well within 2 years and be on the short. Yeah, and I think that's what that was probably his selling point for him. And like, man, I got an opportunity to go showcase what I can do. Whatever position that I get a chance to go work with my friend, my person that I might consider my brother, I think it was an easy decision for Coach Danson. And again, some folks are probably going to give him some pushback, but it's not going to be to the level of what Coach Prime is getting. And for the most part, in the spaces that I operate in, I think it's about 65% for Prime going to Colorado, and about 35% as pushback or whatever. And that's just the spaces that I operate in on a daily basis. Again, I've seen many folks speaking about this on YouTube, just kind of as I scroll through. Never just looked in on but this has been a hot topic. It's been a hot topic, man. It'll eventually go away at some point. Running back will end up Colorado with Dancy. Caleb Johnson is good. He's really good, man. I wonder if, as you're speaking of running backs, I wonder if my guy, Mr. Wilkerson, might get some love. I wonder if Mr. Wilkerson was in that 10 that Coach Brown was talking about. I wonder. I like Wilkerson, man. I think he's a stud. As I watched him more and more, he got really good. He left to make sure to look good in the Power 5. Nothing wrong with that. And I'll ask y'all this question. What father wouldn't want their child to try to get more exposure, man? Y'all been to these AAU games. Y'all been to these 7-on-7 games. Especially the kids who have a dad coaching them. What father wouldn't want to give their child the so-called better opportunity, man? I'm just asking. Coach Prime done his job in the internal programs on driving property at HBCUs in the Black community. Yes, Mark Robinson, man, and I've talked about this earlier. I don't know how long you've been here. I don't know. I know a lot of HBCU grads, and I know a lot who don't donate back to their school. I'm gonna say this again. I know a lot of HBCU grads, and I know a lot who don't donate back to their school. But they're mad at Coach Prime for leaving, man. For leaving. This is an institute that you graduated from that probably helped you get a job, but you don't give back to it. You don't go support the teams. You don't even have apparel. Yeah, that's the word that the school is stealing, man. I don't know. Shout out to Jay Blue. Jay Blue, appreciate you, my guy. The $10 donation, as I think I might have my sound effects up or not. I can't hear. You see it. They might be working. Maybe not. Appreciate you, my guy, Jay Blue. As no, they're not working. Honestly, I don't know what I'm not working. Whatever. They're not working. Appreciate you though, Jay Blue. Appreciate it. Not working. Apologize. You can't leave that kind of money on the table. You just can't. Yes. And again, I'm not a person who was moved by money a lot. If that was the case, I would do something totally different with my career. I've never really valued money. I've never just chased money, because I do understand that money is very important to operate in this world, in this country, man. But for the most part, that's not my motivation every single day. And some folks might say I'm crazy, man, but my motivation every single day is trying to help somebody and try to be a better person, try to be a good person. That's for the most part, that's what I'm about. Let's see what I missed. I mean, Jeff Broham got hired at Louisville. We need to find ways to build others up, even if we don't agree. Yes, Arch, yes. If you don't agree with it, that's fine, man. But don't sit there and just, like, y'all seen a young man, and I'm hoping it's a young man, somebody who follows the Between the Games Sports on Facebook. Follow the page on that. Matter of fact, y'all follow the page. Find Between the Games Sports on Facebook. Man, I'm having some issues with my bicep. They sent me a picture or a video of the young man. I think it was a young man defacing the Coach Prime stuff. Like that's crazy, man. Like, that does nothing How does that move you? How do you get so upset that you go out and because graffiti, right? Vandalism is what they call it, is a crime. How do you get so upset that you burn somebody's jersey? I just this is why I'm not I'm not a fan of a team. I'm not I'm not a super fan. Why is the Swags Sabinov still looking backwards? I have to look forward. Yes, keep moving. My question is: there are 3,000 HBCU football coaches. Why they're not operating like Coach Brown? Mark is hard, man, because he's one of one. He's one of one. But excuse me, if you don't go out there and try to recruit top kids, if you don't even try to ask the high school coaches about a certain kid, how will you know the answer? How will you know the answer? You can't leave that. Okay, I already spoke about that. Kevin Price says Wilkerson would need an NCAA waiver to leave from Colorado because he already entered the transfer portal once already, right? I wonder where Barcelona and Thurman will land. Then they bring Dennis Thurman out of retirement. Elway's father did the same thing. There are a lot of fathers who want their kid to be with the best of the best, as they call it. One thing for sure, and Coach Brown spoke about Judge leaving money on the table to the tune of $4.3 billion. Wow, did not know that. PWIs have a lot of issues. Like stealing goes on. Misappropriated funds happens at every single level, every single school. Every single school. If you improve one person's life, his mission is complete. That's how I feel, man. You want to try to inspire somebody, man. James Houston left Florida, right? He was a Power 5 kid. He left Florida and went over to Jackson State, had a hell of a year, and now he has signed a contract with the Detroit Lions. He has helped change that young man's life forever. Those HBCUs robbing him of no loyalty, man. He was literally getting robbed. People broke into his office. Somebody broke into Shiloh's car. They broke into his car. Crazy, man. Yeah, Brittany. Some folks ain't even got the gear to the school that they attended. JSU football team should threaten to forfeit the game unless the president resigns. I would want to see what the numbers are. I want to see what the numbers are as I'm, kind of wrapping up what I'm saying here. I'll invite anybody who wants to come up and speak their piece about Coach Dancy. And again, this stream was supposed to be about Coach Dancy, him taking the opportunity to join Coach Brown at the Power 5 level. So I'm happy for him. I'm really, really happy for him. I'm so glad that he has gotten the opportunity to showcase his skills because I think he is a good coach. He did a lot with a little, man. He was working with scraps down there in Mississippi Valley. He was working with scraps. Let's just be honest. Shout out to Tim Smith. Tim Smith, everything about it is great. Probably did a great job. They have an elite AD. They will be fine. Shout out to Tim Smith. Man. Y'all don't know Tim Smith, I believe. And Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Tim is the Associate Athletic Director at Alcorn, I believe. Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I want to say you're the Associate Athletic Director at Alcorn. I might be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. From 150,000 5 million, man. People get invested in teams when they act like that. Yeah, man, I would never get like that. I would never get like that, man. HBCU Overdrive's in the building. What's up, my guy? Appreciate you coming through. I see you just got fitted. CPAP mask, man. Take care of your health. Take care of your health. And Steve DL says, love to all. Yes, love to all, man. King David says, man, I didn't get the notification, but I may appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, you got to turn on that bell. And TC's Taylor been recruiting his tail off for JSU. Yes, man. I've seen, shout out to my guy, Aaron Sanders. Aaron Sanders has sent me a lot of information. Yeah, Tim says he's correct. So, yeah, man, shout out. So, we have an associate athletic director in the building, in the SWAC. He says everything's going to be fine. And I believe it, man. I believe Jeanette Fox. I thought Coach Prime would reach out to Coach Danson. I'm glad he did. Yes, man. You got to get up about it, Valley. Man, Valley's in a rough situation. I'm not doing. They do Prime, but you still have to get around the administration. It's hard to get around administration, man. Hard to get it. Just same thing in the teaching world. Administration can make or break a school. Make or break a school, as they say to the students and the kids. But administration not being supportive, man, it breaks the morale of the teachers, and then that transfers and breaks the morale of the students. Man, I was in education for a while, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. Alcor need OC. Everybody know it. Sonny Boom, Damon Wilson took an HBCU the furthest to D2 playoffs in the last 20 years. The rumor is JSU president turned down College Hill. If that's true, JSU is not the first college he probably had. His reasons, we're just nitpicking at this point. Yes, man. That's what people are going to do. That's what we're going to do. I don't see players flocking to Eddie George at Tennessee State. Tyson, man, Tennessee State wasn't winning. Also, Eddie George is a hard-nosed type of dude, hard-nosed, blue-collar type of worker. Not the same type of personality, but again, we can't compare. We need to stop trying to compare black head coaches to black head coaches, man. Every coach has their own style, man. So I hope for the best for Eddie George over there. SWAC will be fun, but they're not going to be lifted out of poverty. I wonder if Jackson State will be focused in the celebration bowl with all the distraction. North Carolina Central is not a slide. No, they're not. No, they're not. So I'm going to put up the stream link for anybody who wants to come up here and kind of speak about Coach Dancy, man. And how do you feel about him moving around? Again, he's not going to get the same scrutiny that Coach Prime is getting. But I'm perfectly fine with him taking the opportunity to go work with his friend, work with his brother, because I've said it. Other cultures, other races, they hire people that they know all the time. All the time. So I see nothing wrong with Coach Dancy taking the opportunity to get out of a situation over with Valley and to just kind of go work in a better environment, man. And I'd say the environment as far as facilities, man. I'm not saying the culture is better or anything like that. So don't quote me on that. It's been rough for him in his tenure over in Valley, man. It's been very, very rough. Hard to get wins again. And his 5 seasons, I believe. In his 4 or 5 seasons, he was 10-38. I mean, it's rough to do. So we got my guy HBCU Overdrive in the building. What's going on, my guy?
Man, what's going on? What's going on, everybody in the chat?
What you got for us?
Man, I'm glad for Dancy to get the job. I'm glad Dancy got the job, man. So
yeah, me too, man. I'd have been out the door too, man. Like Coach Prime come, like, hey man, you want a job? Yeah, man. I'm right there with you. I'm ready to rock and roll with you because I've been in this situation, but it's just been hard to get recruits. It's been hard to get support. It's been hard to get funding. All these things plays a factor in your success of your program. I don't understand why people don't really understand that concept. Maybe because they're not ingrained into the sports.
I don't think Mississippi Valley, the people at Mississippi Valley understood that those kids, like, they play hard for him. Like, he gets them up every time to try to play hard, knowing that they might be in a losing situation, but at the end of the day, they, you know what I'm saying, those kids revered that man, and they trusted him and they respected that man. So, I mean, kudos to him for getting a job at Colorado, man. I mean, I can't turn down, pennies to the dollars. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't getting that much at Valley, and he getting over $250,000 already just to be, you know what I'm saying, a position coach. So
yes,
big ups to him.
Yes, man. That is the money increase the opportunity increased, the chance to showcase his skills as a coach. Um, maybe he's not a head coach, man. And I've said this before. Some people excel at being an assistant coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being an assistant coach. Some people are just really, really good at that. Some people are really good at head coaching. And again, he was in a situation where he wasn't uh, uh, put in the best position to be successful. Like you said, man, I've seen a couple of those bad games. Those kids had no quit in them. No quit in them. They played for him every single down. They played hard and they showed up. So I'm glad for him. That's the bottom line for me. I'm glad for him. And Sonic Boom is asking, "Are you okay over that doc?"
Oh, I'm good. I'm just not getting off of work. I'm on the bus right now, so I'm getting off work.
Yeah, man, be careful out there. You know how these crazy folks. This time of year, folks are watching everybody's move.
I want that smoke.
Mark Robinson says prime time has exposed the problems with HBCU, Swag City, and Jackson, the state of Mississippi. It's a lot of foul stuff going on out here in the world. Man. A lot of foul stuff, and I've seen folks mention like about them being mad. Folks are more mad at Coach Prime leaving Jackson State than they are Brett Favre stealing money from the state. And I couldn't do nothing but laugh at that, which is very, very true. But Brett Favre doesn't resonate with the black community like that. I guess it was hard for them to kind of see the comparison there, man. But I couldn't do nothing but laugh at that, man. APT says y'all run them like so. Yeah, y'all hit the like button, man. They stole over and broke into his office and took money. Yes, that's as Ernest Smith said. That's again, that weighs on you. It weighs on you. I'm not saying that's the sole reason why he left, but it might be factored into it. That's one part of the swag if they're dependent on sports to fund the schools. I'm more concerned about over 1,000 players. Yes, Tyson Garcia. That's what I've said, man. The transfer portal is great and it's bad because not every kid is going to land at a school. There's only so many scholarships that can be given out, man, and it's crazy in the basketball world. I think less than 50% of kids who enter the transfer portal in 2021 going into 2022, less than 50% of kids landed a spot. You better know your level.
And my whole thing about the transfer portal, some kids get, if you're not getting that good sound advice from coaches and your parents that actually care about you and your education, then you should just stay at the school where you at. Or if you want to transfer and nobody's not picking you up, you might have to swallow your pride and probably have to go down to a D2 range or a D3. It don't matter what division you're in. Shit, they still gonna look for you. If you're trying to get to the league, they gonna look at every last one. NAIA, D2, D3, shoot, even JUCO, if you're talking about as far as like basketball goes, they're going to look at you regardless. If you got good tape, if you got character, and if you got the will to want to work, those guys gonna come find you. I mean, you probably you just have to swallow your pride.
Yeah. As folks are saying that Roman was up across the board. Yes, it was at HBCUs this past couple of years. D Lob says I need Prime to. I think one of his coordinators is black. The coach at is it? I can't think. Is it Charles Kelly? Is Charles Kelly a black coach, which is the defensive coordinator they hired? Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. In the comments, Colorado University.
I mean, it's not like, and it's not like he's taking like. I mean, you got Coach Hart, he black. You got Coach Mathis,
Coach Taggart. Coach Taggart is over there.
Sure, you got plenty of African American coaches on his staff. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that are they going to be good enough to be able to be over a actual team and over the football, the football program? Because it's different from when you're a coordinator to where you the actual head coach and you're going about looking at the whole program, looking at the program as a whole.
Yeah, it's tough. But that's it. Charles Kelly is white. Okay, my bad. All right. Look again. I'm never the type to say that I'm always right, man. Keith Smith said 275 46 likes, man. Come on, y'all hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Antoine says, stop with the Brett Favre. Black folks have never been able to prosecute the white man. Oh, man, Brett Favre stole money from the state. Nobody said nothing. No more chilling's time to eat steak downtown. Rob says, Coach Prime didn't leave a blueprint because he wasn't allowed to change the structure. Coach Prime left the potential of success. And that right there kind of makes more sense. What was that saying? Mark Robinson, man, you've been on point with your comments today. And then somebody else asked if we are going to continue to support. I think this kind of ties into what Mark is saying. Will the black community at HBCU college coach keep that? Yeah. If the folks, I've said this on my Facebook, I've said it on the stream. If the people, the culture, we the people continue to want the content, want the games, people who are in the business of making money are not stupid. If they see that black folks are continuing to want to see HBCU stuff, they're going to continue to put it out there because it makes sense money-wise. Now, I'll say this, and I've said this before. If there's a game, you folks have to go up to that game and attend the game, not just attend the tailgate. You have to actually attend the game and be in the stands. That continues to allow TV companies and TV stations who want to come and put your product on TV. They're not going to put an empty stadium on TV. I've said this many, many a time. So if the people continue to support, if y'all continue to support the content creators, then it doesn't have to die down. It doesn't have to go away. So it's all the consumer makes this happen, man. Makes it happen.
Yeah, like just look at me, like what I'm saying. Both of us. Like I'm an independent content creator. You are too. Like you got your channel monetized. I'm on the verge of getting monetized. I'm pretty much 75% close to being monetized. So I got like almost a little bit over 220 people that I need to add, for the subscribe to actually be able to get, to get the channel monetized. So, the more stuff that we put out there, and if it's stuff about like schools like Jackson State, like Valley, like Alcorn, like Grambling, you know what I'm saying, and they want to get some of that content, I'm gonna tell them you gotta pay. You gotta pay to play. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man, this country is about money, man. At the end of the day, it's about money. And South Crack says we got to step up, go in the pockets. Yes. And No Swirl Zone says, I think there will be a slowing. I don't think there will be a slowing college enrollment. HBCU this generation seems to be on some other stuff. Yeah, I think it'll still be good, man. Yeah, I waste water on my phone. Facts only the real one will receive that. Mark Robinson says, brother, this is why my organization are calling for economic summit to address economic poverty, taxation, and HBCU's poverty. Gotta get to it, man. Black coaches get passed over and don't get the opportunity. The black man has an opportunity to build on his legacy, which is sports, man. Absolutely. And that's what I've been saying from the beginning of this situation, man. It has nothing to do with race. It's about ability. Hates crime data. We've seen a lot of black coaches who have the ability to coach. We've seen Hispanic coaches. We've seen it in the regular working world. People who have put in the work. And I'm not going to be an idiot and say that it's been pure. Everybody has gotten their job based off of their pure ability. No, that has not happened. There are some folks who've gotten their job because they're white. There are some folks who have gotten a job because they're black. There have been some folks who've gotten a job because they're Korean or Hispanic, the case may be. So race does play a factor in certain cases, man. As y'all know, like in the NFL world, the biggest been setback has been black quarterbacks. It's starting to change over the years as you see a lot of offenses and coordinators and things like this starting to run more styles fitted to the black quarterback. But traditionally, for a long time, black quarterbacks couldn't even get a chance to be a starting quarterback. So saying that race has nothing to do with some things, yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree on that one.
And it's not like Prime didn't just get rid of everybody. He kept one person, Darian Hagan, because of the simple fact that he knows Colorado. Darian Hagan is Colorado. If it weren't for Darian Hagan, they would not even have a national championship from that 1990-1991 season. So he kept him on staff, and it's a good thing because he can navigate where your prime recruiting grounds are. You know what I'm saying? So that's another up for Coach Prime to have in diversity on his staff. It's not like it's, you know what I'm saying, all white. Like they went out there and told him he has to get these people. Like he had a list. He knew what he was doing. Like in this simple fact, when he knew what he was doing when he took the job at Jackson State. He knew who he wanted on his staff. He wouldn't go ask Coach Thurman to get him up, get him out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? He asked Andre Hart, who was a high school coach over with him, who was the head coach with him at the high school. He had Kevin Matthews, who he played with the Cowboys and was one of the position coaches over at the high school. Like he knew what he was doing. So and him being in Colorado, it's not going to be like he has all these white people to be on his staff. He has diversity. So and then and a thing too is like, just think about this. I've seen somebody say if Coach Prime wins, if he wins at Colorado, it's still going to be a victory for African Americans because of the simple fact that him coming from HBCU school to a Power 5 school and you know what I'm saying, and winning, there's nothing you can say about that.
No, you can't, man. Winning shuts up a lot of people, man. Winning, it deters your haters just a little bit, man. Just a little bit. And I hope that he's very, very successful. A lot of people saying, as James Ross says, stop hating. I hope they ball. Yeah, I hope they do too. I want to see Coach Prime I want to see him get that school into the Pac-12 championship game. I want to see him get that school into the what's this thing called? The FBS playoffs. I would love to see that. I would love to see that, man. It'd be an interesting storyline. Everybody's going to be tuned in, wanting to see what happens. Again, when you're on top, there's two things that happens. Folks are either cheering for you or they're cheering for your downfall. Chuck Hunt says, I remember Darian Hagan when he quarterbacked the national championship team in Colorado. Yeah, he's an absolute legend down there. It's some probably that thing that don't mean jack. Mike is in the building. What up? And I saw my guy Wayne Morgan says the problem is going to be coaches can't just come and coach. Now they're expected to bring resources to support the program they're coaching. No FBS coaches is required to do that, man. Required to do that. And I didn't skip your comment. I was going to come back to it. There are some white safeties, right? There are some white safeties. I don't know if there's white cornerbacks, but I know there are some white safeties, and I don't see too many white kids going out to be a defensive back.
The only white DB that's in the league right now is Harrison Smith. He's been doing it for the past 10 years.
Harrison Smith is good. He's good, but in my opinion, I don't see very many white kids going out to be in the defensive back position. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't go to football games like that. Not really my thing. I am a basketball guy for the most part. I'm a basketball guy. That's just who it is. But if there is something like that, man, speak on it. Hate crimes. YT hate crimes? Speak on it. Nobody's stopping you from not speaking on it. Speak on it. Problem stand that JJ generates billions of dollars.
I'm gonna roll off the screen, man. I might come back on, but anybody want to check out my channel, man, y'all can go over there, check the channel out. I'm close to 1,000 subscribers. I just be 220. Hey, come
Let's get it,
subscribe.
man. Go subscribe to my guy HBCU Overdrive with Doc Holliday, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
And Mark Robinson says, I definitely like to connect with you. Or Arlena, met with 40 HBCU leaders. The movement must be outside the HBCU structure. HBCU presidents are blocking economic success. It's crazy. Will they take a check from a sellout? Keith Smith, what you talking about? I hope Prime wins to go to the NFL and coach. I hope he doesn't go to the NFL. I think he, I think his, I think he'll be more valuable at the collegiate level. 300,000 a year to 5 million. I don't see the issue. And they bring the 12 team. Yes, the 12 team playoff is coming. Is it next year? Is it next year? I bet you Colorado will have at least 2 prime time during the next season. Damn right. When a disappointment feels attacking, it is hate. Big Van Big Van Vander was an All-American at Colorado. Bill Romanowski. That's a lot to say. Big Van Vander. Mike London is a top coach. Used to coach Howard, currently at William and Mary, have them in the playoffs. Shout out to WT with the information. They were Nike, wonder how that goes. Yeah, but I think their Nike deal is coming up. Who just asked that question? John Robinson. I think their Nike deal is actually getting ready to expire, either next year or 2024. Waddle was a good safety. I remember Waddle. Jason Seaman was a dog white quarterback for the Giants, but blew his knee out. Yes, he did. So the John Lynch day is not coming back. Ain't nobody hating on Prime. He's going great. Yeah, man, I hope he does amazing out there, man. Prime success doesn't help black people as a whole at Colorado. Why is that vigilant one? Coach is a leader of men. Yeah, I think he great leader of men, but I think he would be better fitted at the collegiate level. I just think that Eagles have Reed Blankenship starting at safety. Oh, y'all still talking about that. It says 2024. Playoffs start 2024. Man, I'm way behind on these comments, man. Probably would have made more money if he stayed in the long run. Maybe he didn't see it that way. Maybe he did not see it that way. Again, I've seen reports about misappropriated funds. Again, I don't say reports, I say rumors. I've seen rumors. I don't know because I don't work there. I don't work at an HBCU. Again, today's donation goal is 5. So we need 3. We need at least 3 more donations to reach our goal today. And again, you can donate through Cash App or through YouTube. YouTube is always easier, but Cash App goes directly to me. YouTube always takes out a percentage. Black athleticism, why integration was made legal. And Darryl Williams says you have to string the Colorado games. That's gonna be tough, man. If they're from what I know, ESPN Plus, and ESPNU and things of that nature, ESPN3 will still be showing HBCU games. So that's gonna be tough for me to kind of work that out, man. Unless I'm streaming all freaking day. There's the HBCU Go app, which I think they need to figure out some bugs with that. Man, Prime at Florida State have been crazy. You know how many of those Florida kids would stay home? Prime at Florida State would have been crazy, man. Crazy. Make other teams regret not hiring when they had the chance. Prime has no desire for that. Yeah, I don't think I hope he doesn't have a desire for it. Somebody said he's gonna go to NFL and then draft Shador, man. You gotta, again, at some point you gotta let your child be be away from you. Maybe that's not how they do it in the Sanders household, but I don't think he should go to the NFL. Coach Prime said he would never coach in the NFL. Yeah. JSU passed the audit. Those rumors are PR from Prime Camp. And so, thanks for that information, Vigilant One. I'm so ready for Coach Prime to get the hell out of HBC football and FCS. True fans being here prior. And true fans, yeah. And me and Mike, I want folks to stick with it, man. Stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. My guy, Hope Jarga is going to stick with it. DJ Ron Cut is going to stick with it. Who am I missing? Doc Holliday is going to stick with it. And there's countless other channels. So y'all have to continue to support the channels, man. Again, the consumer, which is us, if we are wanting something, supply and demand. Supply and demand. If we are wanting and craving this information by the droves, by the millions, by the thousands, these companies are going to stick around, man. They're going to stick around. They're going to continue to put SWAC games on TV, HBCU games on TV. Prime will be on Mount Rushmore, all black people if he stayed. Yes, he would have. He's not. But folks wanted Coach Prime to be the likes of an Eddie Robinson. The likes of an Eddie Robinson. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard the story that Skip Bayless said he was petitioning that Coach Eddie Robinson, when the Rams first went to LA, he was petitioning to the Rams organization for them to hire Coach Eddie Robinson. I don't think he would have went. Does HBCU Go even have an app, man? It's something. HBCU Go is something, man. Y'all have. Somebody said they've been having issues with that. FSU loves Norvell. Yeah, he did a good job with that group this year, but Prime in Florida, being from Florida, from Fort Myers, all those Florida kids, all that speed would not be going to Georgia, would not be going to Clemson or to Alabama. Imagine Prime got billions of dollars to HBCU. He could have arguably done the most for black people than anybody. Could have been. Could have been. Who knows? Who knows? He might donate money to HBCUs in the long run. I don't know. I don't know the future. Prime's son is decent, not great. Let's not get crazy. He's a work in progress. The Bible said we do good for people. You don't announce it to the world. You just do however a hustler makes note of every good thing they did for you so they can announce it to the world. Yeah. Some people are so caught up in showing people that they're a good person, man. Like, again, I'm doing a toy drive. Well, not a toy drive, a Christmas drive. And we got about total between the GoFundMe that we have and the donations that we have gotten throughout this season towards this toy drive, this Christmas drive, as I'm about to pull it up. This is our Christmas drive right here. There are some folks out there saying, man, you're gonna record when you go give these kids their stuff. And I'm like, no. I know I'm not. Are you gonna take pictures? No, I'm not. Unless that family actually asks to take a picture, I'm not going to do it. And shout out to Lawrence R&B, said, I'm not sure Colorado players are prepared for what's coming. They will be treated like celebrities, and the opposing team will bring their best. Prime will get Colorado championship 11 bounce to FSU. Might be. And salute to my guy Lawrence. Appreciate you with the $9.99 through Cash App. Through YouTube. Again, man, for some reason, my sound effects are not working, man. That's weird. Weird. But appreciate you there. Appreciate you. Yeah, they're not on. I don't know why they're not on, but they're not on. It is what it is. I'll get that fixed next time. Yeah, man, this is going to be a lot of exposure. And if any Colorado player who was still on that team, go make you a YouTube channel. Go get your TikTok going, because everybody's going to want to see your content, man. Everybody's going to want to get your content, and I'm all for, especially young people, getting their bread. Man, get your bread, man. Get the opportunity. Take advantage of this digital money world that we live in. Jeanette Fox says, no, we missed the part. What was Prime given? I must be talking to somebody in the chat. D'Angelo says Deion Sanders betrayed the school. Hey, man, that's how you feel. Again, this is why I didn't want to do a stream about Coach Prime. This is more supposed to be about Coach Dancy, but I knew this is going to transfer over. Transfer over to the Coach Prime situation. I could have talked about this all week, man. All week. But says to whom as much as given, much required. He missed that part. Who are we to say what his requirements are? Originally, what Who are we to say we're not God, we're not Jesus, right? He says he talks to God, and I can't say that. Hey man, no man, you don't talk to God. You don't do that. I can't say that. He says God communicates with him, but who are we to say what his requirement is, right? Who are we to judge somebody on what their requirement is? Gosh. Keith Smith said he said in an interview that Colorado wanted to go to give back. Bob Nike. CJ Jones says he's going to the NFL. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. None swirl song said I downloaded the HBCU Go, but it's hard to navigate. I guess they'll fix it before the next HBCU season. Yeah, they're not talking about a $1 billion list because they probably took it. And oh man, shout out to Dario Fuentes. He said Prime investing and went all out for JSU. The community got way too greedy, and he also got robbed during the game. Yeah, he did get robbed. Yeah, he did get robbed. And Mr. Diva One, salute to Mr. Diva One. Listening while I finish the term paper, I'm enjoying all these comments from all these theologians. Everybody has their own thoughts, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. He said God told him to transform HBCU to compete with Power 5. He also just said that, God told him to move on. Again, everybody's season is different, man. Everybody's season is different. I don't know what goes on in that man's head. Again, we can only speculate. And Vigilant One, you're speculating as well. Nothing wrong with that. But I try to live a life of not trying to judge somebody else, because if I'm gonna judge somebody else, I gotta judge myself very, very hard. I gotta be very critical on myself. Again, because nobody on this earth has been perfect. Nobody, not one single person to walk this earth besides Jesus, for folks who believe in the Bible and Jesus and God. Nobody on this planet has been perfect. So I try to take that with me and try not to judge folks for the most part, man, because it's all good, man. Again, I'm going to go to sleep. Hopefully God wakes me up in the morning, and I'm going to go on about my business the next day. He could have stayed at least 4 years. I thought he was, D'Angelo. I thought he was. He said himself that God told him to send players in the field at the same rate as back in the day, that God changed his mind. What would he say? Coach Prime didn't have to do much as he hasn't done as far. And the dude gave, no other coach in the country gave up their salary. No other coach gave up some of their salary to help out the program, to help out some of his coaches. What other coach has been asked to do that? What other coach has been asked to do that? And if I might have missed, did I miss my guy Brian Johnson? Again, if I missed y'all comment, man, I apologize. Sometimes it just comes and comes and comes. Comes. Mark Robbins says HBCU is traditionalist, aka slavery conditioner, and that's I think that's a light that's been shed upon HBCUs, even for the folks. Y'all, we have to remember. Y'all remember when folks was pissed off, was mad that Coach Prime was hired to coach at an HBCU? Y'all remember that? Not too long ago, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, y'all remember that, when folks was just pissed off, man, saying that he wasn't swag before the phrase became popular? Y'all remember that? And then now that he's left, a lot of folks are hot about it, man. That's crazy. JG family, stop crying. Just don't keep dealing with Prime starting. Gotta try. Thank you for being reasonable. I try. Prime coaching the Falcons in 6 years. JSU played ASU on the 8th of October. The Colorado did sit in, and I spoke on the 2nd of October. Hence, Eddie Robinson Jr. knew. Man, Eddie Robinson Jr. spoke because he got his butt kicked. He was hurt. And if we're talking, he's not sweat because he didn't grow up in the sweat. He didn't play in the sweat. So that was such a simple, low-hanging fruit statement. It is what it is. Fair point, but there's nothing wrong with holding people accountable. Yeah, you can hold people accountable. I really question some of these people in the chat. They sound like the people who say shut up and Joe, or people who should be grateful just to be in the USA. Oh, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always make this channel fun, so it's found to be true about JSU misusing funds. Who was betrayed? Amber Watkins. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Just like the Bible says, have your own relationship with Abba's Father. Everyone has to answer for their own actions. We don't have a heaven or a hell to put that man in. Yep. America's Past, I try. Stop talking about Coach Prime. Come up with a solution, create opportunities for HBCU. Mark Robinson. I like Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson is like, as my man Marshawn Lynch was used to say, man, I'm about that action, boss. I'm about that action, man. Stop. Does Shador have the potential to play in the NFL? I think he does. He's tutored by, as folks consider the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. He's been at this thing for a while. He's going to get better. He has really, really good arm strength. Really good arm strength. He's a lot faster than he looks. He's very deceptive with his speed. As Jethro Mullet says, Prime sacrificed a lot in those 2 years. Yeah, man, he gave money back. Nene G says I'm right. I don't know what I was right about. Brian Johnson says, "Oh, there you go, Brian. I heard reports that Jazz has been cooking the books because he getting that 30% of the game, 30K, and they had on them. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? As I'm way behind on comments. Sorry, I stopped following college football in some time now. Those are closer to a few weeks ago, Jedi Knight. Okay, I see you come. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If somebody is shorting you millions of dollars from a gate, you will report it via social media. Sanders reports everything he does via social media. So why not this? He is a social media guru. He's everything social media. Again, I'm a fan of Coach Prime, but I'm not just a cult follower. I'm not a cult follower. And so there are folks out there who do strong research and everything like that. I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna do research on things that I feel are interesting and keep it moving, man. Keep it moving. But back to Coach Dancy, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Willie Taggart. I was hoping that Willie Taggart would get a chance to coach in the HBCU realm. There are plenty of other coaches out there. Again, Coach Norman, who I interviewed on Monday out of New Mexico, he wants to become an HBCU coach. He said that he's spoken to a few ADs. I'm not going to talk about who he's spoken to. So my guy Tim Smith is still on here, man. I need to holler at Tim. I need to try to get an interview with some of the coaches down there at Alcorn. So I need if Tim Smith, if you're still on here, let's link up so we try to figure this thing out. Y'all make these things fun, man. HBCU fans are more popular than their teams in most cases. Yeah, because a lot of folks wouldn't go to the games for the game; they would go for the band. I grew up in the Texas Southern PV era. I was around when PV had the longest losing streak in history, and literally we would go to those games, and everybody would walk the concourse. They would just walk the concourse while the game was going on. As soon as the bands came out, everybody would get back to their seats, man. So if people go to support the players, support the games, there doesn't have to be any drastic downgrade. It doesn't have to be. And Vigilant once said, I thought Willie Taggart was rumored to be part of the Ravens. I would have liked to see him at the HBC round. I think he's a good coach, man. Connie 48-46, pretty diverse assistant, Taggart, Hart, Mathis, and Dancy. Yes. Says more. You're wrong for that, Dario. Yeah, I got something going on, man. Check the tape. It's all on YouTube what he actually said. Be well, brother. We can catch up on the next one. I appreciate y'all, man. I think I'm gonna get ready to end it. If nobody else wants to come up and speak their piece, the stream link is in here. I'll put it up one more time. It's probably way too far. Yes, Willie Taggart is on the coaching staff. If anybody want to come up and speak that HBCU basketball is easy to build, it takes 15 good men or women and good coaching. Yeah, man. HBCU basketball has been hooping. I was supposed to do a game last night, Alabama State versus was it Alabama State? Yeah, Alabama State versus North Alabama, but I needed a break. I had went out Tuesday night. I recorded a game, high school basketball game, and I was doing all the editing and all that stuff. So I got lazy, didn't do it yesterday. Tomorrow, Prairie View women, they play on TV at 11 o'clock, but I think I'm going to be out doing some work. Jackson State men's basketball team plays Sunday at 2 o'clock. I might do that game. I think I might do that game. The blueprint, the prime blueprint for basketball could easily work. Can't be crowding the barrel to each other. It's rough, man. We got a long way to go as a people, and not just in the black community. We got a long way to go as a people. No ninjas will always sell out. Just you shouldn't let prom coach at the celebration bowl bad look. I feel indifferent about that. All you need is 3 future NBA players, and they can go all the way. And did y'all see the news, right? In the baseball world, Ken Griffey Jr., one of the world's most recognizable baseball players, black baseball players, is starting a classic, I believe, or all-star game partnered with the MLB. So that's big news to help promote and get black kids back to playing baseball. So that is it is a tree leaf or a tree branch extended, grown from the Coach Prime tree, right? As we have Mark Robinson joining in. Appreciate you, Mark. What's going on, my guy?
I think we're missing the point why everybody's upset. You can find a black coach anywhere. But what the black community is missing, and the white outside looking in, we look at Coach Prime as a leader. In the leadership, he came as a black man. You don't see it in the civic groups. You don't see it in civil rights leadership. You don't see it in the black caucus or elected officials. You don't see it in the so-called civic groups or the community leadership groups. So Coach Prime was a breath of fresh air. And it's the leadership and his progressive movement that he was doing is what they upset they're going to miss. That was the game changer. Him being as a black man, understanding the condition, this is why he went in his pocket to take care of his football team and his coaches, because he do understand the condition. But when you're fighting an uphill, molehill battle, and you're fighting the interim battles with the president who doesn't understand the science or the sports science of football economics, then you're going to have a problem. You're going to draw creases. So when you look at the overall money that HBCU lost, they lose $1 billion a year. We look at the money that Jackson, when you take to compare Jackson's $60,000 to mid-level to upper level football programs, Jackson left on the table $4.3 billion. That's ridiculous, man. This is why we're in poverty. Because we have those that's in position of power and leadership are not qualified to understand or to do sports science business. And that's why you look what the move that Coach Sanders did. He brought an analysis team in before he came in. The same thing he did at Colorado now. He's bringing an analysis team to set the stage for his coaching staff. So then he'll know what he's supposed to get, and then he'll know what he's up against. So when you look at the overall numbers of black coaches throughout the history, why is it that Coach Sanders is the only one that know how to do this type of business? I suggest because he's a student of the game. And we, as a black community, we have to become a student of the game and understand how this business is not just football business. This business is also black community business. And it got to go hand in hand. And this is how we retain the black dollar, and this is how the black dollar recycle like. Coach Sanders created economic contracts for local black businesses in the city of Jackson. And that's unheard of, but he done it, and he done it well. So you can't replicate this or duplicate this. We have to sit down collectively and put together a cooperative, a collective, and a collaborative economic plan to create a structure to where we can help HBCUs on the outside because they're not letting you inside. And that's our downfall. Let's build.
I'm with you on that, and I've always said that Coach Prime he's been in rooms that most of us will never be in our lifetime. He's been in the business meetings and business world, so he does understand the intricacies of building something up because he's been around it. And so a lot of folks probably don't understand what you're saying and things of that nature. But I'm with you on that. Like, let's learn, right? And there's no excuse for not learning stuff in today's time with all the technology, all the websites, all the I almost broke my microphone, all the resources that we have in the world. So I'm with you on that. And Brian's here too as well. Brian, what's going on?
How you doing, my brother?
What's up,
Hey, Brian, how's everything, Brian?
Good. You know, the thing is, it's just been an emotional roller coaster for a lot of people. And I understand because you involve yourself emotionally into a situation when you follow a team, and I understand that. But you know, at the end of the day, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. But there's so much underlying things that's coming out, and I think when that documentary comes out, there's going to be things that people that are saying F Deion and stuff like that, and I can understand how they feel. Like truly can understand how they feel, because when you invoke God called me here collect, and you know what I mean, and I answered a level of playing field. Like I always said, he has had success, but he wasn't completely successful in the mission that he laid out to the people as far as playing, you know, equal level playing field. He has left JSU in a better position than when he started. So, you know, you have to look at the good and you have to look at the bad as far as that was regard. I see some people on the comments say that Gaddy can't transfer and this one can't transfer. Yes, they can transfer to simple, but when your coach leaves, there's an exemption. And you know what I mean? That's the only way that, because I thought the same thing until somebody on one of the podcasts said when a coach leaves, then there's an exemption for that, for players to transfer. Like, you know, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty in the high 90s as far as that. Also, another thing too, I think Mark, you touched on it. A lot of things that coach did for JSU, you know what I mean? They lost a lot of money, you know what I mean? Because Tracy Edmonds wanted to go in there and do College Hill, and you know what I mean? The president didn't okay that. There was television contracts that, you know, I think Deion wanted to do, and different other aspects of getting other streams of revenue that, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not saying 100% because I'm just going on what I've heard and not, you know what I mean? Hasn't been verified. We'll have to wait till that all comes out, because everything comes out in the wash eventually. And the thing is, if your president of your institution is going to hold you down, and the money from the Celebration Bowl last year went to the football team, went to the program. So there was always things, and there was little underlying things that were said when Deion said, I think he was on the Sports and Leisure, whatever, an interview. He says, well, that's the first time I heard where he was getting compensated for so many fans. And then he says, well, you know what? The counts have been a little bit short. So there's going to be a lot of things that we don't know of now that we will hear about later. You know, because if you get 40, 50,000 people and you're getting paid X amount of dollars over 30K, and then they tell you the attendance was only 35, where you know there were 60 in the stands, there's something wrong.
Yeah, the math, the young folks say the math, not math. And
the numbers ain't adding up. That's right.
Yeah, I see somebody says, Connie says, get rid of. No, we don't get rid of folks for having an opinion. He's good. D'Angelo's good. So if you moderators, please don't get rid of him. He's just stating his opinion. He's not being rude or anything or cussing anybody out like that. So that's the rules on this channel. You're always welcome to share your thoughts, as long as you're not being cussing anybody out, being totally disrespectful or anything of that nature. So he's good, and Vigilant One says he's a new subscriber. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, Brian, no one brought this up, neither, Brian. And no one brought this up that JSU wasn't part of Griot this year. And when they were on ESPU streaming, Coach Prime got them on ESPN 2 and 1. And that's hard to do, but he got it done. So you get that national exposure. And Coach Prime talks about he wanted to get them a major TV deal, and they turned it down. I'm not talking about College Hill. College Hill was one of them, but a major TV deal for the football, and they turned them down. So when you turn down these kind of streams of income that's coming in, that's going to take your school to a higher driven market, and you don't take that money, now you're not able to drive what they call in the economics. You're not able to create driven market. And when you understand what is immigration and gentrification, is nothing but creating driven market. And that's what they call economic diversity and inclusion. As long as you have economic diversity and inclusion, you never have to worry about whether you have a nonprofit or profit. Your foundation, corporation, and institution will never collapse because you always have that full stream of income and different backgrounds coming in. And this is what the Black community don't have. So when we look at the numbers, what has substantiated HBCU schools? The 20% of diversity income that's coming in. Why? Because we know corporate is unfunded and we're not getting the state fund. So now, as the enrollment drives up, so does the state allocation funds come higher. And we have to understand, we have to watch the money because there's so much money being left on the table, but we're not paying attention. And then we have those at the table don't really understand the science of the game. So when the Supreme Court make this ruling against affirmative action due to higher education, you're going to see a 200% influx of students running to HBCU school. So that means a lot of the students that go to PWIs, they're not going to get in PWIs. They're going to be forced to HBCU school. But the problem will be white women, Latinos, Caribbean, Africans going to be pushed into HBCU schools underneath the Fifth Amendment. So what's going to happen to the descendants of enslaved children? Where are they going to fit at in this equation if the Supreme Court strikes down this affirmative action on education? And that should be any day now. So we're going to see a major shift in HBCU schools enrollment.
I'm with it. I'm looking at Keith Smith. Keith Smith is talking about Order will clear all this up. Yeah, all the rumors, all the information about Prime not getting paid or getting his shares. Again, Order will clear all of this up. Bottom line for me, Mrs. Diva is saying that go watch the two Barstool documentary on Prime. There's a lot of information on them, and I think this documentary that's coming out on Prime Video, which was like next week or something like that. It's going to be interesting.
Yes. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to
be heat. It's going to be heat. He might get a Oscar for it.
That'd be crazy. Still breaking down barriers, man. That'd be crazy. Deion was extra thankful, but I'm with him. We need to always support our people. Advancements.
I'm glad that he's bringing Coach Dancy to Colorado. So
I'm happy.
Get a check.
Yeah, and that was the whole point of this stream. But I knew it was going to, divert from what it was about. Again, man, I had some people hit me on Instagram like, man, why you ain't spoke about the Coach Prime situation since Sunday? I'm like, because man, I made my peace with it, man. I said all I could say about it. I wasn't gonna change my standpoint on anything that happened with this. And again, the only thing I really, really feel bad for is the young man that was a part of the programs, man, because they don't really understand the business part of things. But as far as fans, you can't get so caught up in a coach, man. You cannot get so caught up to the point. Like, yeah, I spoke about the young man that vandalizes his mural or whatever the case may be. Like that, it's not that serious, bro. It's not.
Correct.
So, but by him doing that, are we better than Florida State?
Somebody made him do that because we have a lot of older people that putting young guys on net missions to do things, and they know they're eager and willing to do something.
But the same way that Florida State burned his jersey when Travis Hunter went to JSU, and now that Prime went over to Colorado, we're doing the same thing. So you know what? We always want to say that we're better, but we know what we're just being just the same. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Do we
absolutely.
want to level the playing field in that aspect of ignorance?
I agree. But I don't hear no one talking about this. And this is an important subject. When that young kid was killed, or they found a body in the car, the kid from New Jersey, that's the last thing you want near your program. If you look at any college program that had anything to do with drugs, arrests, murder, ODs, you never heard from them again. Merlin with Lynn Byers, juvenile recent Larry, since the days of the running rebels with Grandma Mom, Miami with Michael Irvin and them, Oklahoma when they were shooting the gun off the turrets, Fresno State with the arrest and the drugs and the shooting. Any of them schools that was caught up in that kind of nonsense, you never heard from them institutions again. And they strong institutions, you just don't hear from them. And they don't get the publicity no more. And it's hard to build them back up. And that's one thing I hate to see at Jackson, when they was having a championship weekend and they had that kind of nonsense near the championship, near Coach Prime in the program, and that can overturn your whole program. That can hurt recruitment. Because why? Kids might not feel safe to come there. And it is enough that HBCUs have stigmas on them already. That was a stigma against Cheney State in the late 70s and early 80s. That was one of the main stigmas why a lot of people didn't want to go to Cheney State back in the day. Because it was bad reputation.
Yeah, Virginia is about to feel the effects of that with those 3 young men who were killed.
Oh man, yes,
by their ex-teammate.
Yes,
and somebody said there's crime on white campuses all the time. Yeah, I know. I know.
All the time.
I know. We're speaking about Jackson State right now. Keith Smith says, BTS, brother, you're a lot of therapy for us all for free, man. I appreciate y'all. Oh man, as much as I want to continue, man, I gotta get something to eat. I have not eaten since
get something to eat, brother. God bless you.
Not eaten since noon, so might have to do another one, man. But I kind of want this situation to kind of die down and just move on. Let's just talk about Colorado. Let's talk about Jackson State. Let's talk about all the HBCUs. Let's talk about having a better infrastructure. Let's talk about donating to these campuses, as Sharon said, and the coach said, take $25 and donate it to your favorite HBCU. Like anything helps.
Well, I think what you spoke on earlier is important about the kids getting their media outlet money going. I'd rather invest in the kids when we know they get the money and then help them than put it in HBCU when we don't know where the money going to go. I'd rather, like you said earlier, them young kids, let's adopt one of them kids that got social media and put the money into their social media. And then we know they got the money. Now, what they do with the money is on them, but at least we put it in their hands. And I think that'll be more accepted, and we get a better outcome. And you'll build that community and connection with the players, the community, and with the black media. You, Unruh, Cut, Doc Holliday, this thing really can blow up into something. And I think you'll be stronger, because then you're building a base.
I just think at the end of the day, we can't count nobody's pockets or tell anybody what to do. There's a lot of people say, listen, he shouldn't have did this, he should have did that. I understand where they're coming from greatly. But when you're getting an increase, even if you say it's not for the bag, you're getting an increase from 300,000 to 5 million. Yeah. I don't, and see, that's a problem with us, in our community. Let's do it for the culture. Let's do the culture. Or you know what? You run a business. Everybody wants a discount. Everybody wants a friends and family discount. Everybody wants something for less than what they're supposed to get. You know what? Pay the price. Move on. And let's see what happens from here. If you want to root for Coach Prime, fine. If you don't want to root for Coach Prime, listen, Coach Prime brought HBCU into my life as far as Jackson State. I'm going to remain a Jackson State fan because you know what? I enjoyed the culture. I enjoyed a lot of things. Will I watch some of Colorado? Absolutely, because I'm a Coach Prime fan. But the thing is, was I upset? Yeah, because my thought process was this: that he was elevating his team, and I said to myself, he was trying to elevate his team to go to an FBS. But I think there's so many things that happen behind the scenes that we'll never be privy to, or we might not never know, because, you know, I always listen what a man says.
Well, Brian, can I ask you one question, Brian? Brian, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
What was Jackson State University assistant coaches making?
I don't know.
$25,000. This is why Coach Prime and the economics say what they could have did was when the city of Jackson brought in $35 million, they could have gave Coach Prime 10% of that, which would have been $3 million, which he would have paid his coaches. That would have gave Coach Prime a contract extension. Now he's not going nowhere. But he told him on 60 Minutes. He told him on Michael Strahan, Good Morning America. He told him with Gil King. He told him on Sports Illustrated, just take care of my assistants. He met with the administrator in the business sector 3 different times. They all didn't take heed. He said, take care of my assistant coaches, I'm good. They still didn't take care of assistant coaches. But they didn't want to give him $1 million to after the 11th hour of investigation. It's too late now.
But those white farmers down in Mississippi, they'll take the money in from the black dollar, but they're not giving anything to the black dollar.
But Brian, the mayor and most majority of the city council is black. The chief of commerce is a black woman. So all you doing is creating, even if the money's not there, you create a structure and say, we're going to give you $3 million to your assistant over this period of time. Without the money being there, you can do that. Why? Because we know that Jackson State brought in $200 million.
But you know what they say, Mark? If was the fifth, I drink it. You know what I mean?
It's not about that. It's about black people. It's about us starting to understand business structure as a whole. We have to learn how to create economic opportunities and business structure. This is the business that we're not learning when it comes to sports and things we can create in the black community. These are things we're missing out on. Colorado don't have the money. Colorado don't have the money, so what Colorado did what? We're going to build this structure. We're going to get the money, and this is what we're going to do. But then we're going to give you a budget of $5 million for your assistant coaches and a budget of spending $5 million on your players and our bills. That's structuring the contract without the money even being there. But the money's going to come. That's business.
But Mark, the thing is, if you listen to a guy in Colorado, they asked him, he says, we don't have the money, but I'm not worried about we'll get it. See,
that's right.
They got Coach Prime almost on layaway.
No, he's not on layaway. What they tell he's not on layaway. What they tell you is.
But hold on, Mark. Hold on. The thing is this: Jackson State wanted to offer this at the last hour. They had an opportunity way before. You know what?
I agree.
You know what? You want to procrastinate, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You say to them, "Okay, now we're going to offer me." Why? See, when you offer it at the end, that means you're going to offer it a lot earlier. But the thing is, what we have to do in our community, instead of teaching or throwing balls through a hoop, we have to teach our kids financial literacy. That's what we have to learn our kids.
This is different, though. This is different. It's different type of financial literacy. This is a different ball game. And most of the people understand this game that Coach Prime was talking about. If you play Division I or a top-of-the-line Division II or JUCO, a high JUCO, then you went through this process as a player. See, everybody don't understand what Prime's saying. But if you went through a Division I prospect, especially in the state of Texas or up and down that mid-region west where JUCO and power football and basketball is, then you went through that process. Then you understand as a student of the game. So this is not privy to everybody. But the way Colorado did it is the way that Jackson could have did it, and Jackson didn't have to give up that much money. All they had to do was give up $3 million. Since Prime been there for 2 years, then put 20% and then give him $6 million for the 2 years. That take care of Prime and assistant coaches. That's not a bad deal. Because each year that Prime was here, your market rate is driving up more and more. You're increasing more revenue. Your brand is getting bigger. That's how we have to think. We can't keep talking about old traditions. Old traditions is slave conditions that keep us in an underclass permanent position. And we can't keep thinking that way. This is why I'm calling for an economic summit so we can address what is going on in Black America and a plan of action, what we do about it. That's why they're upset, because Black America is looking for a Black leader. That's what's going on. There's no Black leadership.
All right, so we're going to shut it down there. I'm out again. I would love to continue to going on, man.
God bless you, brother.
Y'all been great. Appreciate y'all.
I'm still waiting for my hoodie. I think it's coming next week.
All right, man. Yeah, cool. Let me know when you get it.
God bless you, brothers, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
God
it.
bless, Mike.
All right, folks. So we appreciate everybody who's came in here tonight. Much love. I thank y'all for hanging out with your boy, spending some time on your Thursday night. Get ready to go in the weekend. As y'all know, as always, I always want to leave y'all with some positive words. So as I cannot find my closing thing. All right, so on your best day, be better. Think about it. Between the Game Sports, I'm out. Peace.